HITC Sport. Alright, let's take a look at every Premier League team and find what each side's biggest pay rise has ever been. Whether that be through signing players from other clubs or simply offering improved contracts to existing players, let's have a look at that one deal, that one big contract with the biggest jump in pay. Arsenal, Mesut Ozil, 140,000 to 350,000. Well, this is mental. Mesut Ozil probably thanks his lucky stars every goddamn day. I'm all for rewarding players with big contracts when they deserve it, but Christ above, Mesut Ozil really didn't. He was signed by Arsenal for a club record £42 million, hailed as the messiah who'd revitalise a stagnant club, leading them to Premier League and European glory. And it hasn't happened. The lad is undoubtedly talented, but just disappears away from home, turns up about twice a month, and yet somehow managed to trick the board into making him the best paid player in the history of the club. He was already raking in £140,000 a week. Then in February 2018, he just gets a pay rise of £110,000 a week. Sure, this was the same week the club were forced to wave goodbye to contract rebel Alexis Sanchez, and with Aaron Ramsey about to walk out on a free, clearly the board wanted to tie down their best players. But lads, this just smacked of desperation. Aston Villa, Ross McCormack, 30,000 to 70,000. Hands up, how many of you forgot Ross McCormack ever existed? Oh crap, the Wall Street Journal are going to have me for breakfast. Listen, this is a £12 million disaster signing, who at the age of 33 is currently stuck down the dole waiting for the phone to ring. Dragged in from Fulham in 2016, the lad was handed a contract and told that if we somehow get promoted, your wages will rise from 30,000 to 70,000. And sure enough, 3 years later, with McCormack spat out on a third successive loan to sit on the Motherwell bench, his parent club then beat Derby in the Championship playoff final, triggering this ludicrous windfall of cash for a man with a weird phobia of 1 metre tall gates. No wonder they released him in the summer. Bournemouth, Callum Wilson, 60,000 to 100,000. This is what happens when big teams show an interest in you. You just know for a fact that Callum Wilson's agent used the big money links in the media to a desperate Chelsea as a ploy to shake down Bournemouth for even more cash. Wilson had already signed an approved £60,000 a week deal in July 2018. Exactly 1 year later, after not only making his debut for England, but scoring for England, and having his face linked to a Stamford Bridge on the back papers, the man was then able to command wages of £100,000 a week. Imagine paging an aging centre forward with a crippling injury history a 9-figure sum a week, when your stadium can only hold 10,000 people. Mental. Brighton, Lewis Dunk, 35,000 to 45,000. Just like Wilson, following big money links to boyhood club Chelsea, Lewis Dunk was able to drum up a £45,000 deal at Brighton, a jump of 10 grand from his previous contract. Good old Chelsea Football Club, making bang average mid-table players rich. Burnley, Nick Pope, 15,000 to 30,000. Fair play to Burnley, they really spotted a gem in 2016. Nick Pope was the lad who at the age of 23 was slumming it out on loan in League 2 with Bury, a now deceased club. A fella slumming around the lower leagues, unable to get a look in at Charlton, with the prospect of a call up for England looking about as alien as Gabriel Obertan's head, dragging him in from Charlton's reserves and offering him a base double your money wage of £30,000 a week. At the time it definitely looked insane, but it's definitely paid off now. Chelsea, N'Golo Kante, 150,000 to 290,000. Yeah, you know the myth that N'Golo Kante is just this humble lad, too shy to ask for a big paycheck, just happy to play for the love of the game. He's just happy to, just collect enough money to cover his food and rent, but other than that, he'll play for a pittance. Yeah, that is a massive lie. It says it all when, at a club with more money than sense like Chelsea, who've willingly splashed out on lavish wages for aging superstars for the best part of 20 years, it says it all when you become their biggest ever earner. Yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi's 90,000 pay rise last year was definitely steep, quadrupling his 30 grand a week wages, but Kante takes the biscuit. Good lord, in November 2018, just months after that World Cup win, he gets rewarded with £290,000 a week, an increase of £140,000 from his previous contract. So please, I never want to hear again that Kante is too shy to ask for money. He probably used to spend his birthdays shaking his granny down by her ankles for an extra 50 quid. Crystal Palace, WILFRIED ZAHA, 60,000, 130,000. You'd wonder why WILFRIED ZAHA so badly wants to leave Crystal Palace when he only signed a fresh 5-year deal less than 2 years ago. Simply put, doubling your salary is no doubt hard to turn down. Sure, it's the summer of 2018 and ZAHA doesn't really want to stick it out for another relegation battle at Sellers Park, but having his 60,000 wages doubled, I can see why he signed the deal. Everton, Jordan Pickford, 20,000 to 90,000. I mean, were Sunderland in any position to keep Jordan Pickford? No, not a chance. Their number one goalie was earning just £20,000 a week. So as soon as Everton waved 90 grand a week under his nose, with the extra promise of Premier League football. No wonder he left the Northeast. Leicester, Danny Drinkwater, 30,000 and 90,000. Yeah, you probably think this addition is crazy, considering Jamie Vardy now earns wages of £140,000 a week. Quite an increase from the days when he probably used to take home 50 quid and a tin of dog food. But Vardy's contract renewals have been regular, alright? He signed 2 alone in 2016. So there's been no dramatic increase of money all at one time. It's all been incremental. I'm not sure what that word means. So let's hope it fits. Instead, I'm going to have to go with Danny Drinkwater. Just 3 months after lifting the Premier League title, the former piece of Manchester United bumfluff tripled his 30 grand a week wages with a new 5-year deal worth £90,000 a week. Yeah, he was gone within a year. Liverpool, Luis Suarez, 120,000 to 200,000. Look lads, there's been a lot of massive pay increases at Liverpool lately, but none more so than this one. Go back to December 2013. This was the news which would have made Liverpool fans sweaty in their thighs. Just months earlier, Luis Suarez, the club's talisman, had thrown his toys out of the pram to try and force through a cup price move to Arsenal. That didn't happen, and so months later, after 17 goals and 11 starts, the lad was offering the fan base an unlikely Christmas present with his signature on a new 4.5-year deal, taking his £120,000 salary to £200,000. Lads, when he was gone on strike in the summer, who would have predicted he would stay at Liverpool for another 4 years? Yeah, he didn't. He was gone within 5 months. Man City, Raheem Sterling, 35,000 to 200,000. Considering Man City have chucked cash around like monopoly money, it takes something special to make it into this list. But the biggest pay rise, I mean, it'll no doubt be toppled in years to come, but for now, it's Raheem Sterling's big money move in the summer of 2015. Sure, at the time, Liverpool were trying to force money down this kid's throat, but he never signed a fresh deal, so all he was earning at Anfield was £35,000 a week. So £200,000. A rise of 165,000 quid a week. No wonder this guy started forking out for private barbers to live in his house. He's currently on £300,000 a week. Quite a long way from when he used to make 400 quid a week at QPR. Man United, Alexis Sanchez, 130,000 to 390,000. Listen, Marcus Rashford is unlucky not to make this list, having been given a £170,000 pay rise last year, but you're not toppling Alexis Sanchez. One of the most laughable pay increases of all time. Listen, Sanchez was already on a decent wage at Arsenal. £120,000 a week is nothing to be sniffed at, but because of Pep Guardiola showing an interest, United clearly felt that they needed to cough up insane wages to drag him in on a free. £390,000 a week. An increase of 260,000. It's ridiculous. Newcastle, Andros Townsend, 16.5 thousand to 55,000. Yeah, Michael Owen's steady increase, £105,000 a week. It's a worthy shout, but in terms of the biggest wage increases, surprisingly, it's not him. It's mad to think, but back in January 2016, when Newcastle signed Andros Townsend in the throes of a relegation battle, he was earning a relative pittance at Spurs. He was 25 years old, earning just £16.5 thousand a week. Considering that lad had gambling issues, no wonder he jumped at a fatter paycheck. Newcastle obliged, offering him £55,000 a week to play 13 games and get relegated. What value for money? No wonder he looks happy. That's the face of a guy who's more than tripled his weekly wage. Norwich, Nathan Redmond, 10,000 to 20,000. Yeah, let's go back to 2013. When Nathan Redmond signed for Norwich, doubling his standard Championship Birmingham City 10 grand a week wages, but not before he penned a love letter to his former club. Still though, 20 grand a week, you're not turning that down, are you? Sheffield United, Enda Stevens, 12,000 to 25,000. Yeah, good old Enda Stevens making a good living for himself. This was a former Aston Villa reserve player, never getting a look in at the club, but finally he's landed himself some Premier League quality wages, having recently improved the terms on his 12 grand a week deal in the Championship. Fair play, Enda, you deserve it. Southampton, Charlie Austin, 26,000 to 70,000. Remember when Charlie Austin was once highly rated? After banging home 18 goals in the Premier League for a relegated QPR, the lad was highly coveted. 6 months later, he was returning to the top flight with a mid-season switch to Southampton, increasing his standard Championship-style wages of 28 grand a week to a whopping £70,000. He ended up with a strike rate of 1 in 6. What a waste of money. Tottenham, Harry Kane, 100,000 to 200,000. Yeah, no prizes for guessing what's the answer here. Harry Kane is the reason Spurs' wage structure has been smashed to bits. But I suppose that's what happens when a club allergic to trophies tries to keep a world-class player on their books. In June 2018, on his way to a World Cup Golden Boot, the lad was penning a 6-year, double your money, £200,000 a week contract. And the mad thing is, they're probably going to need to pay him even more. Watford, Andre Gray, 25,000 to 70,000. You would expect former bricklayer Troy Deeney to make this list, wouldn't you? But no, instead, good old Andre Gray. Yes, he's a Watford bench warmer who's clearly not Premier League quality, but in 2017, Burnley were somehow able to squeeze 18 million quid out of the Hornets for him, who then willingly gave him a 70 grand a week contract. A steep upgrade from the £25,000 he was bringing in at Turf Moor. What a ludicrous deal. West Ham, Dimitri Payet, 65,000 to 130,000. Here's a contract that smacked of wild desperation. In February 2016, Dimitri Payet was offered improved terms halfway into his debut season at West Ham, being able to demand £130,000 a week, despite agreeing to £65,000 in the summer. What makes this even more laughable is that he was gone within the year. Wolves, Rui Patricio, 60,000 to 100,000. It takes something special to break up an 18-year bond between club and player, and that something special is money and lots of it. Yeah, pretty simple here. Despite spending nearly 2 decades at Sporting Lisbon, Rui Patricio was making just 60 grand a week in Portugal. I know, just. But the man was the Euro 2016 champions, so no wonder Wolves had to fork up 100 grand a week to get him in. Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Have I missed out any? Do you agree, like me, all of these wage increases are absolutely insane? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.